if somebody in a long-term care home or a shelter wants a piece of meat, what do? Do we not feed it to them? I mean...
Thank you, Councillor Perks. Councillor Holyday.
Just to confirm so I understand, we serve a lot of meals, the city, and this contract speaks to it. Am I correct? The meals are being served in our long-term care homes, in the shelters, and potentially in daycares. Are those basically the categories?
Through the chair to the councillor, yes. So those are the three divisions that are a part of this RFP.
Okay, and so we prepare meals, we make them. This is supplying the ingredients to make those meals. Can someone tell me a little bit about what the Cool Food Pledge aims to do? Just a caption.
So, through the chair, the Cool Food Pledge is essentially, it's through the World Resources Institute. The idea is to reduce the emissions associated with our procurement of food for our services by 25% by 2030. And the idea being looking at how we procure those foods, how they travel here. So is it local food versus shipping from other countries around the world? The type of food that we serve, is it more plant-based in nature versus maybe a higher greenhouse gas emitting product? So looking at all that and being able to measure that and then identify what actions could be taken to reduce those emissions embedded within the food. So at this stage, it's really around understanding what our emissions are from food and then what the emissions are, and how we could reduce those through various actions. There's no specific.
Is meat high emissions?
There a lot of factors go into what the emissions would be, but generally something like beef would be higher than plant because of the emissions
ruminants
production.
Is it beef and lamb, I think, compared to chicken? So the Cool Food Pledge likely would mean that the diets would change.
So I think it would enable us to understand what the emissions are and then decide if we need to change those diets, recognizing, and I'm not going to talk about the diet side, that maybe different individuals will have different dietary requirements, but it'll enable us to understand that and then take actions where appropriate to reduce those emissions.
Is it a fair distillation of where this is headed, that we would likely be serving less meat and more vegetables, and more specifically less red meats?
I wouldn't want to presume an outcome of what the
if you read the literature
will tell us, but we do know that red meats will have higher greenhouse gas emissions, so reducing those would have a relation.
So if somebody in a long-term care home or a shelter wants a piece of meat, what do? Do we not feed it to them? I mean,
So through the chair, councillor. We have guidelines in long-term care and around, providing menus for our residents, and I would say the same for the other divisions that you've noted. We follow a food guide and would provide meals or meats to meet the nutritional needs of our residents.
but proteins are on the food guide as opposed to the type of meat, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the last question I'll have is, will the Cool Food Pledge cost us more or less? Cool. No, I said cool. No play on words. The Cool Food Pledge, will it cost us more or less?
Sorry, through the chair, I think, Councillor, that is to be determined.
Okay. Do we know what other cities or jurisdictions might have found, whether they implemented the Cool Food Pledge or something similar? Did it go up or down?
Through the chair, the councillor, I don't have that information.
Fair
Something that we can
enough.
definitely look into.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That was all my questions.
Thank you, Councillor Holyday. I just have a couple of questions. this contract is for groceries, not prepared foods. We order groceries, and then our various locations make the meals.
That is correct.
All right. So at the end of the day, it's our teams that decide what gets served to our residents.
Correct. So we have nutrition managers in all of our homes and dietitians who create the menu planning to meet the residents' needs. And yes, that would then drive what ingredients they need to order through our grocery contract.
Now, Gordon Food Services is our current supplier, and we're here today discussing this because their contract expires March 31st, and we need a bridge contract.
Correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
So I assume we're doing this because we're satisfied with this vendor's performance?
Yes.
And do you feel the city's getting value while at the same time making sure our residents get, proper balanced meals?
I would say yes to that question as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Any speakers on the item? No? Okay, I'll move the recommendations. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried.